The MTW2 is equipped with a 7mm dynamic driver, Bluetooth version 5.1 supporting AAC and aptX and also SBC codecs, a frequency range between 5 and 21,000 Hz. Operating battery life of the earbud is advertised at 7 hours, and the charging case is able to provide an additional 21 hours of battery life. The specs of the MTW2 is nothing spectacular and is certainly something that we can see in many other true wireless earbuds in the market today. However, the MTW2 did impress me during my testing, and today I will give you my take on the MTW2. I have given an overall score of 8 out of 10 for the MTW2 and an audio score of B+. The MTW2 is one of the better performing true wireless earbuds in the market today, given that most of the true wireless earbuds I review only manage to receive audio score between C- to C+. In this review, I will first touch on the features of the MTW2, then the audio performance, and lastly, whether the MTW2 is worth our money. And without further ado, let's go. True Wireless 2 features a few functions that are not found on the MTW1. One of the main functions is the active noise cancellation function. It's a welcome addition, but it's something that I personally don't find that is important or a big deal, because ANC usually affects the audio performance of the earbud, and generally we can reduce the environmental noise just by getting a good fit. You get the right size ear tip, you get a good seal, and it will help you to reduce your environmental noise to the minimum. So I seldom see the point of using or having the ANC function in my headphones or in my earbud. And next, Sennheiser also improved the battery life, bringing the battery life of the earbud to 7 hours with additional 21 hours from the charging case. Back in 2018, MTW1 only features 4 hours from the earbud and additional 8 hours from the charging case. 4 plus 8 hours is really disappointing for me, and which is why I did not purchase them back in 2018. But given now 7 plus 21 hours, it seems to be quite okay. It should be able to last you for 1 week if you use it about 2 to 3 hours every day, which is quite like my normal usage. And Sennheiser on the MTW2 included the ambient mode called the transparent hearing mode. To activate the transparent hearing mode, you can either do it through the phone app, or you can do it through by tapping the right earbud twice. And to deactivate them, you can do the same, tapping twice, or through the Sennheiser phone app. The ambient mode or the transparent hearing mode will also be activated when you make a call using the Sennheiser MTW2 earbud. Another feature that was not included in the MTW1 is the smart pause function. If you can see here, you will see this black dot. Okay, this should be the proximity sensor that Sennheiser uses to detect a user taking off the earbud. Because once you take out the earbud, your media will stop playing, and if you want it to continue playing, there is no need to wear the earbud back. You just need to use your finger to cover it, or you can use any material to just cover this proximity sensor and your media will continue playing. It's as simple as that. And one thing that we should note regarding its Bluetooth is the aptX low latency codec. In the MTW2, Sennheiser actually removed the aptX low latency, although for me I don't see it as a deal breaker, because if you really want low latency, you should use a wired earphone. That will ensure the best experience, whether is it watching video or whether is it gaming on your mobile phones like Call of Duty, because aptX LL also have some latency, just that is lower than the normal aptX. So even though it's being removed, it's not a deal breaker for me. I still think that the features are enough to support the new MTW2. So enough with the features, and now let's move on to the performance of the MTW2. I have with me the MTW2 for a couple of days now, and throughout my testing, I'm very impressed with the audio performance of the MTW2. The sound signature of the MTW2 is very balanced, I would say. It possesses sort of like a linear frequency response, just that it has a little boost in the high region. The low and the bass of the MTW2 is actually very well controlled with the optimal quantity and very punchy. So if you are a bass head and you think that you might not get enough bass, I would say that not to worry, because I think Sennheiser give it just enough bass presence in the MTW2. The mid and high region came in very clear, especially the vocal. They are not recessed, unlike a lot of other true wireless earbuds, which give you a sense of V-shaped response curve. It is not like this in the MTW2, and because of the audio performance, they are able to bring out the characteristic of the vocal and of the notes that came from the various instruments, and they have very good instrument separation and imaging of the instruments. And I always got reminded of the Audio-Technica M50 Bluetooth headphone when I'm listening to the MTW2, and in my opinion they are that close in terms of audio performance, just that the Audio-Technica M50 Bluetooth headphone is slightly bassier and the MTW2 is slightly brighter. So for that, I'm giving the MTW2 8.5 out of 10 points for their audio performance, and I would say that is very good, fantastic for one true wireless earbud with just 7mm single dynamic driver. So moving on, we will touch on the ANC function. The ANC function is something that is not, I would say, is not exceeding any expectations. Switching the ANC on or switching it off, it doesn't really make a big difference. You can notice the difference over there, but it is not like day and night. So if you are looking for the best in class ANC function, I think the MTW2 is not going to give you that. For that, I'm giving them just 7 points out of 10 for their ANC performance. And the Bluetooth quality of the MTW is okay. It has the SBC, AAC and the aptX codecs, but just take note that aptX LL has been removed from the MTW2 but is present in the MTW1. When you use it with watching videos from Netflix or streaming videos from YouTube, you will not notice any out of sync issue, but it is very obvious if you play FPS games like Call of Duty or PUBG on your mobile. Definitely the lag is there and you can notice the out of sync issue. So for that, I'm giving a 8.5 out of 10 for the Bluetooth quality. Now, when we talk about the core quality of the MTW2, it is slightly disappointing, because during my Zoom meetings with W2, it is slightly disappointing because during my Zoom meetings with my colleagues, they told me that I sounded muffled and they cannot hear me clearly when I'm already quite loud on my end. I also did a short recording of my outgoing call with the MTW2, and now you can take a listen. So as you can see, the MTW2 is not the best for making any calls, and for that I'm just giving them 5 points out of 10 for its call quality performance. Generally, when we move on to the size, it is okay. It is very similar to the MTW1, slightly smaller, slightly lighter by 0.1 gram. Throughout my testing, I don't feel any sort of discomfort, no pain, but my wife, who has a smaller ears, told me that it is slightly big for her, but there's no discomfort on her end. And for that, I'm giving 8.5 points out of 10 for their comfort. So if you want, you can just take a look at this MIFO 05. Just do a size comparison. MIFO 05 is actually very comfortable, and I like them a lot because it's also very light. And when you wear them, you don't really feel it in your ears, unlike the Sennheiser MTW 2. So as you can see, this is the size comparison. The MIFO 05 came in smaller and more compact, right? Okay, so now let's move on to the touch control. Both earbuds have touch control. So the left earbud control different aspect, the right earbud control different aspect. So for the left earbud, you will use it to control your music. So single tap, you are going to play the music. See, the music is playing. So if you single tap again, you will pause the music. So if you double tap, it will forward track. If you triple tap, it will move back. Okay, so that is the function of the left earbud. Single tap, double tap, triple tap, nothing more than that. So for the right earbud, single tap brings out your Google Assistant. Single tap again, and bring them away. No, it's not going away. Yeah. So when you double tap them, it will activate the transparent hearing mode, which is the ambient mode in other earbud. Double tap again, you will deactivate the transparent hearing mode. When you triple tap them, you will activate the ANC function. Triple tap again, you will deactivate the ANC function. So overall, I think the touch control is implemented very well, because when you do a tap, you can actually hear a tone coming from the earbud. And if you do double tap, you'll be able to hear an ascending tone. This is to help you identify how many touches have been registered by the MTW2. It's a very neat feature. I think even though it sounded very simple, but it is very helpful for us to pinpoint how many taps the MTW2 have registered. So I will just show you the app. So Sennheiser says that with the Sennheiser app for the MTW2, you can actually control or customize the touch control. But throughout my testing, I don't see that happening for me. Okay, so just a minute. You can connect the MTW2 directly with your phone, Bluetooth first, then after that you go into the app, or you can go into the app, fire it up and connect to the MTW2. Either way, it will able to be the app will be able to detect the MTW2. Okay, no device found. Not too sure why. Oh yeah, because it's inside the box. So I take it out and let's try it again. Retry to connect. Yeah, it's connected. So as you can see here, actually there's another choice for you to customize the earbud, customize the number of taps to different function, but it's not available in my app version, and I'm not too sure why. I will touch on the transparent hearing. See, you can on or off it via the app, and you can keep music playing when you on off, or disable it. And the equalizer. The equalizer is something that I think is not very useful, because it only allows you to adjust one region at a time. So let's just say if I want a bass boost and I want a mid boost, I cannot do that. But you need to do the reverse. You need to reduce your treble in order to get the bass and mid boost. So if you want a reduction in the bass and mid region, you need to increase your treble, right? So it is not the usual style of, you know, we just move up what we want and we reduce what we do not want. Well, it takes some getting used to it, but I think it's okay, because for me, I usually set it at default, which is neutral, and I like the sound profile a lot. So overall, the Sennheiser MTW2 is actually very useful. I would think that the sound is the most impressive aspect of all, and if you ask me, I think it is actually one of the best in terms of audio performance as compared to many other true wireless earbud in the market. And if you ask if it's worth the price of $300, I say yes, because I have been buying different true wireless earbud in the market, and none of them is good enough in terms of the audio performance. For the True Engine 2, it is good because the fit is suitable for exercises or gym, but a dual dynamic driver cannot give a better performance than a single 7mm driver cannot give a better performance than a single 7mm dynamic driver in the MTW2. And for that, I'm quite disappointed by the double dynamic performance. And if you're looking for a good and balanced sound signature, I think that the MTW2 certainly meets your criteria.